Hey everyone, welcome back to the realm of Soul and Fulltown, more specifically. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the world is named, or at least our universe that our dwarves live in, is called the Realm of Soul, which is a pretty epic name. And Fulltown is even more epic. And soon, hopefully soon, it will be an actually full town. And okay, so where were we? It's been, I think, a few, maybe 3 days or so since I last recorded that first episode. Um, and I remember everything was going really good. We have Attis, my favorite. So far, I think my favorite dwarf. She's really, really cool. She has this pickaxe, and also, one of the things that's interesting is she's a competent miner. Remember when she first arrived, she was adequate. So she is really proving herself. And I was thinking, since I like this dwarf so dang much, that I might give her some cushy living quarters, as well as um, maybe a noble position. So Attis, I mean, really, it shows you how easy it is to please me. All you got to do is show up with a willing spirit and maybe a little bit of follow through and a steel pickaxe, and I'll love you and make you a noble. I don't know what position would best fit Attis, but I have many positions to fill, and all of them are really important. So I'm sure we'll find out what position best fits Attis. Another thing to note is I think I need to add more bedrooms, excuse me, because how many do I have? 4, 8, 10, 12? 12. So we are definitely missing some. I need to do this. We're definitely missing some rooms, but fear not, that will be remedied right now. Apparently, I didn't realize I had this many doors and beds. So I guess I was proactive without knowing it. Let me just designate these real quick. Oh, and then also last episode, I recall I wanted to make this the bedroom for my manager, and so I'm gonna do that right now before I forget because I will almost certainly forget, considering that this game is slowly heating up. So I can check his rooms in this little menu, and then I can see where he lives by clicking this button. I already knew this, but nevertheless. And this little flashing box indicates that Ton lives here. And so what I like to do so he doesn't have two rooms, because I don't, he's a manager and he's important, but come on, he's not that important. I'm going to remove assignment, and then I'm going to assign him right here. And so now Ton lives here, um, and that is phenomenal. Okay, what is this petition? Guild. Okay. It says the Cavernous Company has many members in Fulltown and now requires a guild hall. The location must be built and furnished with the hall designed for a miners' guild. Do I approve of this request? Well, I do approve of this request, partially because I love my miners, even though they don't love me, for probably many reasons. I can at least think of one. But I will approve this, but I won't click approve yet because Dwarf Fortress has another weird thing where if you accept this, this thing goes away, and then you have to just like remember it. And I'm not sure if there's a menu that I'm not sure if there's a menu that shows this. You might be able to go to like announcements, but it doesn't matter. I don't know. It disappears. So if I press accept, I'm gonna have to remember to build it. Whereas if I just leave it there, it's gonna stay there. So what I'm gonna do is get on top of this pretty much immediately. Uh, Petitions go away are kind of like you can fail a petition, and if you fail a petition, the dwarves get really mad, and in my case, the miners get mad. And if you haven't noticed, pretty much everyone. This is just a cruel twist of fate, apparently. But everyone is a miner in my in my fortress, including the super dancer, which he's a competent miner apparently. So you are seeing the effects in real time of what a guild does. Guilds are like schools, and people go there and they learn. And as you can see, they are learning. So one problem though, I don't want everyone to be a miner. Currently, the Miners Guild is the only guild in town, and so everyone is training to be a miner. If there were more guilds, then more people would have, there would be more opportunity. Um, but regardless, so I'm going to change this so that it is members only. So basically, miners, anyone with miner skill can go to this, and anyone that doesn't have the miner skill can't. Unfortunately, that's everyone, but it's a start. People in the future won't be able to go to this. Another thing I think to note is that you may be asking yourself, why are they asking for a guild hall? You've already given them one. This is not a guild hall. This is a meeting place that is designated as a guild hall. If you want this meeting place to be a guild hall, it has to be really cool. And right now, this is not even slightly cool. This is really lame. So we're gonna go down, and last episode, I designated this level to be kind of like this entertainment level. And I say entertainment as in it's going to have guild halls and it's going to have temples. Those are going to be great. Dwarves are going to love it. That's kind of where they go and get certain things that they need. I was just trying to get an example down here, but sometimes they'll like wish for things, like I wish I could go and pray to my god. I wish I could do this or whatever. And oh, like right here, sorry, unmute. So it says pray to their god, and some people will be like socialite or talk. Um, those are things that they want, and guilds and temples can provide some of that need, provide for some of that need. I'm tired of making circles, like really tired of making circles. So I'm not gonna make this a circle. Instead, I think I'm just gonna make it a little bit boxy at first, and then I'm positive I will um, make a change. I'll probably stick another weird shape, and then um, make this level kind of interesting as well. But for now, we're gonna just start with something standard. I got a little carried away with this. This almost looks like a crab. It makes me think of Mr. Crab from SpongeBob. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I see it. It's got his little claw up here, and then his body. It doesn't matter. Um. Anyways, and then also another thing I need to do, like ASAP, as well as this miners guild, is I need to get a military started pretty soon. I'm a little worried. This is the siege update, and the siege update has introduced, like overhauled the way that creatures attack your fortress, and that worries me a lot. Traditionally, in the old game, um, okay, we'll get to this in a second. Traditionally, in the old game, goblins would invade you, and you could just shut your gates and hide. And now you can't do that anymore. They will dig through your base. Okay, so what this is, it says, although it's a grim reminder of the winter hardships to come, the supply caravan from the livid spears is a welcome sight. Okay, so what is happening is, and you can check. Oh my God, emus. You can check where they are by going to others, and then you can go to like the liaison, who's dripped out. Holy, look at that. She's got a crown. Dang, what kind of crown? Goblin nail crown. A little weird. That's cool. And then where is the liaison's merchant guild? Okay, so they're, for some bizarre reason, They're doing like a pincer move. One is coming from the west and the other is coming from the east. Cool. Well, there you go. So this is what I was talking about last episode as well about future proofing the fortress. It's important that I trade with these guys. Trade directly affects immigration. The more I trade, the better the deal I give. If I give them deals or gifts or whatever, then they're gonna leave after they're done trading. They're gonna go back to the mountain home. They're gonna spread the rumors. They're gonna say Fulltown is super cool. They got tons of miners, and their fledgling base and or fortress, and you should go there. And people will, or dwarves will, and so the dwarves will come across the lands, and we'll get tons of guys. We'll get inundated with them, and it excites me, and it also kind of directly equates to our success as a fort. We need manpower or dwarf power, I guess. Um, okay, so what just happened was the here's this diplomacy thing. So it says the expedition leader Udib. So my expedition leader, the one of 7 original dwarves, was appointed the expedition leader, which is like a temporary leader. And he meets with the liaison, who's that guy with the weird crown, goblin nail crown or whatever. And they're talking, and they're saying, I'm liaison from the mountain home, which is our capital basically. And he says, let's discuss your situation. So this he's saying there's much to share. So it just says information added to the civilizations. Basically, he's updating our world map, which is really cool. He's asking for things that I want next year. I don't really care about anything particular. I will say though, as a little like game mechanic, um, it's kind of funny to ask for. I'm trying to find where it is. Is it tools? I'm asking for cages. I'm sure it's right in front of me, and I can't see it. Oh, right here, cages. Okay. I like to check all the cages. What can happen? A little funny mechanic with so we're gonna pay a premium basically for cages, and they're gonna pay a premium for armor and large gems. So if I can trade them armor and large gems, which I think is very possible, they're gonna give me a little extra, which is nice. Um, so uh, cages are funny because cages, um, you may think like, oh, cages, who cares? Sometimes cages can come with creatures in them, as you can see. Here, let's see. Let's see. I saw it. I saw it when they were unloading. Let's see. Copper cage right there, but nothing in it. Um, I guess this is a really bad example. Okay. Oh, wait, right there. Water buffalo in a cage. Okay, so technically this is a trade item of a cage, right? Because it technically is a cage, but it contains a creature. Um, the funny mechanic in this game is you can get all kinds of very strange creatures. Most of them are usually mundane, but you can get pretty crazy creatures, and it is hilarious the things you'll get. Um, I've gotten cave crocodiles before, but yeah. All right, so we should probably trade with these guys. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to trade gems. And it looks like our gem cutter has been doing a pretty decent job cutting gems. So maybe I'll do that again just to get some of these guys cut up. We want to be pretty quick only because these merchants will leave pretty soon. Beds has been established. Has it? Okay, so we're going to establish this real quick. And I'm just going to kind of freestyle this. Oh, here's another thing. Before they start carving up this room, we're going to want to change um, our engravers. You don't want everyone engraving. I like to make my miners engravers only because miners aren't always mining, and so if they're not mining, at least they're going to be engraving. And also it gives you a nice like trained up core group of dwarves um, that can do engraving, because engraving is sort of important. It directly affects the value of the room, and so if you have a bunch of like dwarves that aren't very impressive, engraving a room, then that room won't be very impressive. So you don't really want random dwarves doing this. So that's why I'm having the miners do it. I don't know what they're engraving. I don't know what the miners that have no pickaxes. I don't know how they're engraving. Maybe they're like karate chopping the side of the wall. But anyways, um, yeah. So I really want to trade with these guys sooner than later. So maybe we'll do that right now. Gem, cool. So we gotta do some bins because I don't think bin. And also, you might have noticed I was looking for anything in regards to gems, and it's not showing up. And that's because all of my gems are sitting in this stockpile. Attis is carving them or cutting them, and they're all sitting there, and they're kind of unretrievable. So to make them retrievable, we're going to add a stockpile for gems because remember I made this stockpile custom and excluded gems, so it's going to be useful to and now everyone's just tossing it over. And then I'm asking for wooden bins, and that should make it a little bit easier for the dwarves to store the gems. um, but yeah, once Attis is done carving a few gems, and once a few of these bins have been created, it looks like someone is Bombwreck is making wooden bins, which is really nice. Hopefully they'll immediately use those wooden bins down here and start storing things. And then also I want to make this a meeting area. I want to make this the guild hall for the miners. So we're going to say miner guild hall. Just make miner guild. And then guild hall miners. And now I can go and delete this really, really lame area, and and now they have a much cooler place to hang out in. And now I'm gonna go approve the petition, and then I should probably soon get a little bit of a notification saying that I have completed the mandate, because now it's guild hall. Um, it says the guild hall agreement with the cavernous company has been satisfied. So great. So the miners love their spot because it's more impressive, because it's got engravings, and so now the miners are very happy. So we don't have to worry about that. Looks like a bunch of my animals are giving birth. Merchants. Okay. Hopefully. Okay. Cool. Look at this. So the bins have been the gems have been stored in these bins. And so now I'm gonna go trade with these guys. So I'm gonna move gem, and we're just gonna go just like that. Someone will bring up the gem bin, and it looks like a child is cog, and I'll say anyone who requested at trader, and looks like the 6-year-old child cog is trading at the depot. I'm sure we're gonna get great deals. Cool. So we only want to trade cut gems. If you trade uncut gems, you're gonna kind of lose value because like look at rough onyx versus cut onyx. 12 versus 40. And these are like rough, really rough estimates because I have a 6-year-old trading and not a professional broker. So, you got to do you get what you deserve, I guess, but I'm just going to trade these things away. Truthfully, I'm probably just going to trade I'm just gonna give these away as a gift. I could trade for a lot of things because they have like a lot of cool stuff. Maybe I'll get some thread, and then that's good. Trade. Wonderful. Thank you for your business. Um, and now I'm gonna say no trader, and hopefully we'll move some of that stuff back into my stockpile. I'm also gonna make the stockpile a little bit bigger. One of the downsides to making a kind of all-inclusive stockpile that like accepts many things is that this thing starts to fill up pretty fast, especially with uh, blocks. Blocks and bars can get kind of messy. and then I'm gonna do one more cut gems, and I'm just gonna have like a running mandate of like 500 gems. So basically, anytime a gem is revealed, we cut it. And so now that I'm done trading with the traders, I'm going to look for metal because I'm a little terrified. I'm a little scared. So this is the siege update, and in the siege update, goblins have been reworked, and I guess just sieges in general have been reworked. And so now looks like they have embarked. Okay, so these guys are like gonna leave in like a matter of moments. And anyways, one of the reasons why I really need to find some of this, like at the very least copper, and at the very most iron, is because if I don't, I can't really get my military dwarves to wear armor, which means they're going to be really undefended, which means we're going to have problems. So um, we're going to work on that. We're going to go look for that. And I might pause or skip around in this episode because um, I don't know how hard it is to be to be frank. I don't know how hard it is to find metal in this world. We do have silver. I think that was just silver. Let me look. I just got a glimpse of it. Yeah, so this is native silver. I'll do an auto on the silver. Oh, great. Um, but this episode might be a little choppy, just because sometimes finding minerals, especially when you live in a world where there's like sparse mineral occurrence, which is what I said in the beginning of the game, um, it can be difficult to find things. And so hopefully we'll find it. But I'm gonna cut out a bunch of boring stuff. So just understand if it's a little choppy, that's the reason. But first we'll deal with the migrants. So migrants have arrived. It looks like we got a guy, missed him, values competition, good spiritual sense, and I like to vet my dwarves when the moment they come in. It can get a little messy. Like so, dwarves I think they get like a little flag for like a couple days in game, which is like not very long. It's like a minute or two, and they get this new arrival, and so you can go and through your unit list and check. But this new arrival tag kind of goes away pretty fast. So I like to just like get a feel for who's entering my fortress when they enter it. But you can just ignore it. You don't have to do this. I just think it's really nice. This guy is pretty cool. Uh, he seems like a great soldier, but he also does have some pretty interesting skill in doctrine. So I will say soldier doctor, and maybe I'll find a little bit more of a definitive role for him eventually. But I think he's probably going to end up soldiering. This is an armorer, adequate armorsmith, values competition, strong. She disdains. Okay, cool. This is like a soldier probably. Soldier, good. She's definitely not gonna be an armor smith because don't I have an armor smith? Like at least someone that's like vaguely better. Thought I had someone vaguely better. I'm trying to think. Maybe I won't. Maybe that will be my armor smith. I'll rename him armorer. Thought I had someone better. Okay. Sickly, good analytical ability, not musical, disdains tradition, good low, blah blah blah. Seems pretty cool. Got any skills? Poet, speaker. This would be like a good bartender. Uh, he could be a soldier, honestly. Okay. Datin. Value sacrifice, high stamina, stubborn, vain. 19. You got a long life of soldiering ahead of you. It's nice to get some soldiers in here. It's unfortunate values, blah blah blah. Competent swords, dwarf seeks harmony. Well, hopefully you'll see enough war that you'll realize it's a necessary evil. Um, Peasant, perseverance, altruistic, Greedy. Altruistic and greedy. Like that. Actually, I gotta look at this guy's skills. Dancer, nice. Oh, and we got another miner. Frail, envious, not vain, low self-esteem, unassertive. We could just make you a miner. And I, again, like to make my miners engravers. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, that was it. Any dwarves, there are any type of dwarf is welcome in my fortress. Truthfully, I'll take them where I can get them. I'm gonna expand the bedrooms. I'm going to build a few other things, and I'm going to start looking for metal. I'm going to cut a lot of this stuff out. I don't want to bore you guys with the details. Just know that um, important stuff is happening, important stuff that you guys don't necessarily need to see. But if anything pops up, like a special event or I don't know, anything, or I find metal, I will make sure to tell you guys. I'll cut that part in. But I really, really don't want to bore you guys with the details because this could be a really involved process where I'm basically just strip mining. So keep that in mind. My God. Well, I was just gonna show you guys that we found magnetite, which is an ore of iron. If you can see this ore of iron, but we also just got some visitors. Thief, protect the horde from the skulking filth. Disgusting. These are likely kobolds. Kobolds. Yeah, right here. Okay, so look at these cute little guys. Um, these are kobolds. Kobolds are actually really, really cool. They're thieving bastards. They will steal your stuff if they can. But the cool thing about kobolds is they're pretty, are not super aggressive. So, um, that's good. They also were spotted by my animals. Your animals can act as like watchdogs, and so now they're just running away because they're afraid. They don't want to get into an altercation, especially the dwarves. Kobolds have weapons and stuff, and they can technically kill a dwarf, but they're pretty weak. But here, let's get a recap. Now that we found magnetite, which is so legit, now we can actually do stuff. Silver. Okay, so what you've missed. Okay, we'll start here. I added some more bedrooms. I'm building some noble areas, and then this massive edifice is this is actually gonna be Attis's bedroom. I know, a little overkill considering she's not even a noble, but it doesn't matter. Um, Anyways, this is gonna be Addis's bedroom, and then I added a few other bedrooms, and I put in some orders to make some beds and some doors so I can accommodate for my new arrivals. Because I got 22 population, and I don't think I have enough bedrooms for that. Uh, but I did this, and then I also was strip mining, and so I think it was like a few minutes, maybe like 10 minutes have passed since I've last paused the game, and I basically have just been doing this, just nonstop strip mining. I don't like to strip mine like this, just because it looks kind of ugly. But when you're in a place that is like very sparse in its mineral deposits, um, you kind of have to do this. So I just shoot a line off on either side forever. Um, One thing to note, though, I have found magnetite, but I haven't found a cavern, which is very weird. I'm sure we've missed it, and I'm sure one of these little like extensions, little mine shafts, will eventually hit a cavern, and then I'll have to deal with that. But I'm so excited that we found magnetite because I was concerned that we wouldn't. So we're gonna get those set up, and we also another cool thing is we found limonite, and limonite uh, is a type of coal. No, limonite is actually an ore of iron. Let me see. Yeah, it's an ore of iron, limonite. Okay, so but we still. All right. Um, you've discovered an expansive cavern deep underground. Let's go to that. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. So, one of the things I should do before I even explore the cavern is I should cancel some of these mining designations because I don't need to dig into the cavern any more than I already have. The reason being, I'll keep that open so I can see. The reason being, oh, wow, I unironically like did that perfectly. That's so funny. Okay, I don't want to dig into the cavern too much because I don't want too many ways for horrifying monsters to get into my fortress. And I'll explain caverns in a second, but let me just get rid of these, this, this, like this. So caverns are kind of like a double edge blade. They're good. They have tons of stuff to get. There's like foraging opportunities. Foraging. Okay, that's it. Okay, there's foraging opportunities. So like, look at the ground. There's like these cave wheat and plump helmets. So your dwarves can go and forage. There's all of this dense floor fungus on the ground, and this is your animals can graze on this, which is like excellent. It gets them out of the surface, so when enemies attack, your animals are protected. Don't think that you can't get attacked in the underground. We'll get to that. There's trees to chop down. So these big mushrooms, these tower caps, and these fungi wood, they are fungi wood. They are they're trees. They count as trees, so your dwarves can chop. And then in our case, and this isn't always the case, sometimes you'll get caverns that don't have any water, but we do. We have like a flooded cavern, and flooded caverns you can fish. And so they're depending. Sometimes I found that the game can be a little weird, and sometimes there's no fish. But I'm hoping that there is fish. So maybe we'll do some fishing off to the side of this little chute. So they're really great. The downside to caverns, though, is that they can have forgotten beasts and monsters and all kinds of unspeakable horrors that can sneak into your fortress and kill dwarves. I'm noticing, I was looking around, so there's these cave spider silk webs. Those are just normal cave spiders. They're not anything to be worried about. But if there were to be large giant cave spiders, then we'd have to be a little careful. It's not uncommon to find giant cave spider webs in caverns, but uh, it is like worrying because giant cave spiders are pretty scary. But there's all kinds of things that can sneak into your fortress that are worse. But let's get now that we have oh wow, I have a lot of entrances into my fortress. Okay, so we're gonna We're gonna wall this off real quick, and then I think we should start on the military. Now that and maybe making some pickaxes for my buddies. Um, is this the last? It is. I might keep this open, just so my dwarves can look into it. It's kind of cool. But okay, so oh, this is a cool thing that's happening. So this area that I dug out is just made out of like dirt, and it's getting floor fungus floor fungus is growing on it, and that's because the spores from the cavern are coming up the mine shaft and depositing themselves onto the farmland, and that's fine. It's not bad. There's no negative to it. And your animals can actually graze on it. So I could technically move the animals down here, and they would probably be fine. But I'm all right with keeping them up on the surface for now. But let's get the foraging started. So I'm actually going to make its own level. I'm going to do like a pretty big area. And I think maybe I'll do this. Like that. I'm gonna make a big, wide, open area, and I'm gonna put a few things to get ready. So before we can have a military, we obviously need equipment. You can technically train your dwarves without. You can technically train your dwarves without armor or really any weapons. They can still train and get physically fit, but it's a little bit better to have them train with armor right off the bat because they get stronger faster and they also get some skill in armor usage, which is really nice. I'm gonna put the anvil here. I'm gonna use rock salt blocks, and then so to start your metalsmithing, you want a metalsmith, you want to go to furnaces, you want a smelter, and maybe make like a few smelters because smelters are really, really nice to have. I hate how these dwarves mine. They're such idiots. Uh, why? Why not write this? Just get this one and this one. Okay. Okay. Um, I'm gonna put like three, I think, just to be nice. And then I'm gonna do this. So wood furnace. So the thing about a wood furnace is wood furnaces are super important. And I'm gonna make two just in case because I'm not really sure what our lignite situation's looking like. It does look pretty good though. I won't lie. The lignite situation actually looks excellent. But nevertheless, I will I'll build two of these. Okay, so to do this, to smith, you need to have fuel because you can't. It's funny, you can't make lignite into fuel without having fuel in of itself. So what I like to do is do a wood furnace, especially if you have wood. If you don't have wood, you're gonna have to be a little bit more creative. Maybe you'll embark with some coke, but wood furnace, make charcoal. Um, I'm gonna put an order in, so I'm gonna say charcoal, and I'm going to make 25. So basically, they're going to take 25 logs, and I actually just realized I don't have any logs. Yeah, no logs. Okay, cool. We're going to go blast some of these trees down. Boom. Don't tell the elves. Um, and do I have a guy that's capable of not being... Okay, we do. We have a few. Okay, cool. Okay, so they'll eventually chop down these trees. Once these trees are chopped down, a dwarf will go run down to the. Oh, it's happening right now. Um, so Edzil, is burning wood right now. It says make charcoal, and so they take this wood, and they eventually turn it into charcoal, and it's a 1-to-1. So it's not like super ideal, but it is better than nothing. So now that we have charcoal, I'm gonna actually do one more thing. I'm actually gonna do bars and blocks, and I'm gonna disable bars and blocks here. And the reason being is bars and blocks are like metal block or bars and stone blocks. And this, if I allow them into this stockpile is going to get like choked pretty fast. So I'm making it basically a stockpile down here. Now that we have charcoal, we can actually make coke out of lignite. So the easiest way to do this is type in the economic, like the type of coal that you have, and it will show up. So lignite, exactly right here. So make coal from lignite. So now I'm gonna do like 200. You know, I don't know if I have 200 lignite, but I essentially am basically telling the dwarves to make lignite in perpetuity. Um, and then I'm also gonna make more bins because I'm sure I'm gonna need more bins. So wooden bin, and I'm gonna make like 25, and hopefully that will be sufficient. I'm trying to see, do I have any good adequate armor smith? Okay, I'm just gonna assign this person to be an armor smith. You kind of generally want to have good guys, good dwarves making armor. And so what I did was I assigned a worker to this forge, this metalsmith's forge, and this worker has some skill in armoring. You don't want to just have like random dwarves doing this job, because you want dwarves to train up, and you want your armor, the better they are, the more skilled they are, the better your armor and the weapons, and the better your military. So you don't really want just like random fucks coming in here and making like just really subpar uh, armor. So we're gonna do that, and so now as you can see, making coke from lignite. So we've taken this charcoal and we're now uh, making lignite, and they're actually making coke. They're using coke from the lignite to make more coke from the lignite. It's pretty cool. um, and now they're stacking this coke in these boxes, so which is nice. Um, I'm also gonna put another order in, and I think we have, what is it, magnetite, native silver, and silver nuggets. Oh, I'm so excited that we have magnetite. This is legit. I was really worried because I was kind of convinced. Where is it? Where am I? I was convinced that we didn't have any, and so I was actually really worried, because the only way, and limonite. Oh, I haven't mined it yet. Okay, so we're gonna put this into like high priority to mine this stuff. So the reason why we need this iron and this limonite and this magnetite is because without it, we would have to scavenge and from like killing goblins and melting their armor down to make our armor. It's just a whole thing, and it's a lot easier is if we. Oh my god! Oh my god! I just noticed these guys are really thirsty. Oh my god! You can see thirsty. It's because I forgot about the drinks. Okay, so don't forget about the drinks. We're gonna sprint over here. We're gonna say barrel, wooden barrel, and we're gonna make like 25 wooden barrels, and then we're gonna tell whoever can do this to make drinks like immediately. I'm gonna do it manually because I don't have to wait for the order to go through. And then I'm also going to say brew from fruit and brew from plant. And I'm going to say like 25, 25. And hopefully my dwarves will forgive me. They're all thirsty. They're all probably going to get really pissed off. They're all so thirsty. Oh my god, please. I guarantee as soon as this guy makes this drink, he's gonna get like dogpiled by all the thirsty dwarves in my in my is he drinking? He's like so thirsty. Um, drink. Yeah, they're just sprinting in here and pounding this. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. Well, drinks will be fixed in a second. That is so funny. You don't want to do that. Don't do what I just did, where you forget. Don't do that. That's like one of the more important things to remember in this game is to uh always have drinks. Oh my god. I'm gonna build like a really ugly area just to get the dwarves armored up and ready. Okay. It looks great. And so we should have iron coming in. Oh, I forgot to add the order. Okay, so yeah, when I went down here, I was looking for what like type of iron we have. So we have limonite and we have magnetite, which are both great. So what you want to do if you want to make iron from them, the best way to do it, in my opinion, is just to type in the metal. So it's limonite, smelt limonite ore, and then magnetite, uh, magnetite ore. These will both yield iron. I'm gonna say 100 and 100. I don't know if I have 100 of each, but that's what we're gonna do. And so eventually the order will go through, and then these same smelters that are making coke from lignite will also, as you can see, make limonite or smelt limonite and magnetite, and then we're going to start getting iron ore, which is or iron bars, which is really nice. And then I will feel a lot safer and less naked because I'm terrified of these goblins, and especially since that the value of our fortress is rising, and I can't really see the value because we don't have a bookkeeper, but I can tell you that we are probably at the point where we're starting to draw attention to ourselves. The richer your fortress is, the more attractive your fort is to being raided by goblins. All right, so we have iron being made. Look at that beautiful. They look so tasty. I could take a bite out of them and break my teeth, but they look great. Um, they can make all kinds of great things. But you know what? Just to finally end this miserable miserable miner experience, I'm gonna make iron pickaxes right off the bat. I'm gonna make 10, and hopefully that will appease enough dwarves, and hopefully that will get enough dwarves working. And so hopefully this order will be picked up and executed soon. There it is, baby. Oh, nice. Oh, this is so nice. Okay. Oh, we're finally out of this miserable experience of not having not having minor dwarves. This is fantastic. That went on for way too long. Those dwarves were really upset with me. So this is me Attis's room. I just like Attis. For some reason, I think she's so fucking cool with her steel pickaxe. So we're gonna make Attis's room really nice because she is like super important. And then noble positions for Attis. Let's look at Attis. Let's see what Attis. No job. She has good memory. She's got poor intuition. She has poor analytical abilities, a little difficulty with words, a poor kinesthetic sense, a lousy intuition. She doesn't really sound like she should be a noble, but I'm gonna make her a noble. Um, she could be the the we'll make her the broker. Oh my god, that's a shame. I'm not gonna make her the broker. I'm actually gonna make the I'm gonna make this dwarf. This is the armorer dwarf. Kumil. She's gonna be the booker. So she's not going to be a soldier anymore. So I'm actually going to remove her um, from the draft. Where am I? Right here. So she's an armor and a broker, which is cool. It's actually very useful combination. And then Attis again will be. Maybe I can make her the sheriff. I'm gonna make her the sheriff. Oh my god. So she requires. So this is the first dwarf that actually requires like a lot of things. And so as you can see, like my manager was really easy to take care of. He basically didn't need anything crazy. Whereas the sheriff isn't super useful right now, but it's kind of funny. It's a nice little meme to have. But she needs all kinds of things. And so you can hover over each of these and it will tell you what she needs. So she needs a modest study and she only has no study. And you can see them up here. So she needs a modest study, modest quarters. She has meager quarters. She has no tomb, but it's not really required. She needs a dining room. And then she also needs these. So if you hover over this little chest icon, it will show you like what specifically she needs. She needs one chest, one cabinet, uh, and one weapon rack, one armor stand. So we're gonna do that right now. So weapon rack. We're gonna say rock weapon rack. I'm gonna make 10. I'm gonna make them out of let's make them out of dolomite. I know it's not gonna match the rock salt in her room, but it might actually add some nice, like a little bit of a nice difference. Um, Dolomite weapon rack. We're gonna say rock armor stand, right? So now I'm gonna make that out of dolomite as well. She needs a study, so we're gonna have to make rock table and rock throne, and these are gonna be made out of dolomite as well. Dolomite, armor stand, and then I think she needs a chest. And rock chests are actually not called rock chests. This is a weird one. They're called coffer. Just weird thing you gotta remember. I guess you can't have a rock chest, but that's fine. I'm gonna make it out of dolomite throne. What else am I missing? So you go back to nobles. I got the weapon stand, armor rack, cabinet. Okay, so she needs cabinets. Rock cabinet, and then sorry, 10 dolomite. So dolomite cabinet. Then she just needs better studies and all kinds of stuff. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give her a dining room just because why not? And then I'm gonna smooth out her apartment. This is like a mansion actually. It's not really an apartment. Um, but yeah. Okay, so while they're doing that, I'm going to start doing a few other things. Okay, so we're making pickaxes, which is fantastic, and it actually means that minor dwarves are gonna start getting pickaxes. Look at that. We got all kinds of different miners with pickaxes. This is great. Improvement, baby. And so now that we have like quite a bit of iron, got a decent amount of iron. Yeah, and we're making ever more coal. I'm gonna start assigning armor, and I'm going to if you're following along and you want to make a military with me, just follow what I'm doing. Um, if you have different materials like copper or bronze or whatever, it's going to be a little different, but it's not going to be that much different, and I'll show you basically where the differences lie. But I want to make a military, obviously. Um, I want to defend my fortress. So if I press Q or I click on this little flag down here, it says hotkey Q, press Q, it says you must appoint a militia commander to create a squad. This is the squad menu. This is basically the military menu. Um, so to appoint a squad, appoint a military commander, you go to nobles, and then you click on this military commander, and we have Zas. And remember, Zas was like kind of his whole design was that he was going to be this like great leader, tactician, military dwarf. So I click on him because I want him to be my militia commander. So now that Zas has been appointed, I can actually create a new squad. So I click on that, and I'm actually going to say no uniform for now. Um, and then you get basically this whole squad, and this squad is empty besides Zas, and it comes with an emblem, and it comes with a little like naming thing. Okay, so we can so we can quickness of metal. I like that. That looks good. The quicknesses of metal, and then I'm gonna change their symbol to something a little bit more interesting. So maybe like I'm gonna do the background, kind of like maybe like this rock salt, since we have so much rock salt. Uh, like kind of colorblind, I think. That looks right. And then maybe black, or maybe gray, like iron. That looks cool. The quickness of metal, and I'm gonna change their symbol to something like uh, like a triangle. Looks like a kind of a blade. And then okay, so now you click. So now you have a squad with only one commander in it, and that squad is essentially kind of useless right now because it needs dwarves are really strong in numbers, and so what you click on, what you want to do is press Q to open up this menu, and then click on this little dwarven face, and you can assign positions. And so this is where my naming convention comes into handy. If you didn't name your dwarves like I did, you would have to remember who they are and like which ones you want actually in your military. If you name them accordingly, you you can assign them pretty easily. So I'm basically just going to click on anyone with the word soldier in their name. So soldier, um, soldier doctor, why not? Soldier grunt, very good. Soldier good, very good. Okay, cool, fantastic. So that was most of my dwarves, or a lot of my dwarves, I mean. And we have what, like 7 positions? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So 7 dwarves, and they're all in my military, which is fantastic. So now, if you remember, I assigned no uniform to them. They're actually, it says custom, but if you look at you can click on the specifics of the uniform and details, and it says there's nothing here. This is probably where most people get very confused in the military creation, so I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible for you guys, because it's super important that you know this, because dwarves are the primary way to defend your uh, pr pr protect your fortress. There's traps and other things, but you need a good strong military. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on this. You can do it multiple ways. You can click on this and you can equip them like that. Or what I like to do is you just click on the dwarven face and you click them individually. So you can actually like assign 3 at a time, 2 at a time, 4 at a time, whatever. But I like to do it 1 at a time. And so what I'm gonna do, since I don't have any good, because like if you look at my um, outfits, they're not that impressive. They're just these are the pre-made ones. I actually delete them usually. But I like to assign a uniform. Actually, I like to add a uniform first, and um, this is where you just need to like remember. You can go to the Dwarf Fortress wiki, which the wiki is super great, but you can and you can get like the specifics of what armor you need. But as I've found from my numerous hours of playing this game, this is just sufficient. So you want to create basically an outfit for like a generic outfit, like a template almost for the dwarves. So you click on this add uniform button and you do new bodywear. And I'm going to say male shirt and then breastplate. I'm going to also do headwear. I'm going to do helm, legwear, greaves. You would think you could add these like chain leggings, but you actually can't. You can wear male shirts and breastplates, but you can't wear chain leggings and greaves. I don't know why. Maybe they've changed that, but I've never had it. I've always had issues with that. Um, New handwear, gauntlets, footwear, um, high boots or low boots. Let me look real quick. Can I make high boots? Iron high. Oh, okay, okay, excellent. So sometimes, don't despair. If you're making your own outfit, iron high boots. Sometimes you won't see this. Sometimes you won't have this option. This is just dependent on your dwarven civilization and its like tech level or whatever. If they don't have this unlocked, then you're gonna have to just go with iron low boot. It's a little less protective, but it's fine and it will be totally sufficient. But we have high boots available, so we're gonna do high boots. So I'm gonna go back to Zas equipped. I'm going to Oh, I didn't say my outfit. I'm gonna make it really quickly. Mail shirt, breastplate, helmet, legwear, greaves, handwear, gauntlets, footwear, high boots, shield, buckler. Bucklers are like not as defensive. They're a little lighter, but we like shields. And then weapon. And so I'm just gonna use a generic warhammer, but you can change it eventually. Here, I'll just show you. So what I'm gonna do is name this. So I'm gonna say iron, and this is just how I do it, but iron hammer version 1. I will sometimes. Oh my God! I press right click. Here, give me one sec. All right, I'm back, and definitely nothing has happened. Okay, uh, Iron War, or I'll say Iron Hammer version 1, and I'll press enter. Um, this is just like a generic iron armored dwarf that uses a warhammer outfit. Uh, Before you accept things, you need to change the materials because right now all the dwarves are going to look for is just any thing to satisfy. So a mail shirt, whether it's a copper mail shirt or an iron mail shirt, whatever, they're gonna grab a mail shirt. Same with the breastplate, same with the helmet, same with all this other stuff. They're gonna grab these items with irrespective of the material. But if you want to be specific with the material, you click on matte. And so you click on matte, iron. You can also get you can just click metal, but I like to do iron because I don't want them to grab like copper because copper is metal. Iron, so I'm just basically assigning iron to all of these things. Iron, iron, and then shields are a little weird. Iron's not here. You have to scroll all the way down. It's weird. I know. Iron, and then iron. Okay, so I've made a full dwarf iron outfit, uniform. One more thing to note, I like to do, it says uniform worn over clothing. I like to check this to uniform replaces clothing. You can run into issues where dwarves like will refuse to take off like a jacket or something that they have, and won't put on like an iron breastplate because you can't like some clothing's interfere. So basically, uniform replaces clothing means they're going to strip naked and then put on their armor. So there's going to be no conflicts, which I prefer to do. And then partial matches, okay. I'm pretty sure this is fine. I've had issues with exact matches. You could try exact matches. I'm not really sure. I usually just do partial matches. And then make sure you press confirm and save. Boom. And so now I've made an outfit for Zas. I'm going to assign. I'm going to actually. So you can check individual dwarves, and I recommend this before you assign them with this magnifying glass. And it looks like he actually he's an axe dwarf. So what I will do is, and it's really easy. You can do add uniform, or sorry, assign uniform. You can click on Iron Hammer. So I know he's an axe dwarf, but I'm going to click on Iron Hammer, and so now he gets all these things. And so his outfit is now going to be an Iron Hammer dwarf. But the cool thing you can do in this game is you don't have to go through all that miserable experience, like that whole like assigning things again. You can actually just delete this weapon and do new weapon, do battle axe, do material and iron. So now this is an iron battle axe, and then what I'll do is I'll say iron axe version 1, much like I did. So I'm basically just using the hammer template to make a slight modification, and then I'll confirm and save. And so now he's an iron axe, and I basically like did that. So now he's iron axe, and now I could go down to bomb wreck. I'm gonna press equipped to bring up this menu, and then I'm gonna zoom to them, and I'm gonna look at their skills. It doesn't look like bomb wreck has any particular skills in anything, so they're kind of an open slate or clean slate. So I'm gonna do equipped, assign uniform, and I'm actually gonna make them a hammer dwarf. I'm going to go down to Mistem, equipped, uh, click the magnifying glass. He values competition. He's humorless. He maybe like seems like he'd be a good hammer dwarf. Hammer dwarves are solid. You don't have to worry about those. Edzul has no skills as well, no combat skills. So honestly, I'm just gonna make them a hammer dwarf. You can't go wrong with hammer dwarf, if I'm being honest. Magnifying glass. I'm gonna go check this person's skills again. Nothing. Creative. You know what? Creative makes me think maybe they would be good. Assign. Maybe they would be good as a uh, sword dwarf. So I'm gonna do equipped, details, delete this, new weapon, sword, short sword, material iron, and I'm gonna say iron sword version 1, save, and then that looks good. So Datan has a swords dwarf equipped, details, zoom to this guy. This guy also has, like the other ones, no skills. I'm going to make him an axe dwarf. Equipped, assign uniform, axe. Go down to this one, Iton, equipped, zoom over, swords dwarf. This guy's a competent swords dwarf, so fantastic. So we go equipped, we go assign uniform, and we do sword. And so it's as easy as that. The setup can be a little bit complicated, but once you get a feel for it and you just kind of memorize that, it becomes a lot more manageable. Man, I'm finding a lot of really cool materials. That's nice. Um, I was really worried I didn't have enough metal. Okay, so now they all have their outfits assigned to them, which is fantastic, as you can see. They all have their little their armor, like outfits assigned. So you can see them. Hammer. We got axe dwarf, hammer dwarf, hammer dwarf, hammer dwarf, sword, axe, sword. So cool, nice little combo. You want a variety of different weapons because all the weapons have their strengths and weaknesses. I find that hammer dwarves are probably the strongest in the game. So if you just want like the best, generally iron hammers are good. They're good against armor. They can pulp undead, so you don't have to have the undead coming back. There's all kinds of benefits of hammer dwarves, but I like to have a combo. It looks nice, and also I think the soldiers are a little bit better if you have a little bit of variety. Um, but we don't have any of those things, and so what you have to do at last is press your O. You can technically do it through this, but this is a real pain in the ass. I wouldn't recommend it. I would make armor through the manager's order list. And so what we have to do is assign. We have to build. Basically, I'm going to build 10 of every piece of armor that I've assigned to the dwarves, and including weapons. So iron breastplate was one of the first things. Iron mail shirt, iron helmet, iron greaves, iron gauntlets, iron high boots, iron shield, and now we got to get into the weapons. So I only used 3 different types of weapons. It was war hammers, iron battle axe, and then iron sword, iron short sword. Okay, so here you go. Breastplate, mail shirt, helmet, greaves, gauntlets, high boots, shield, warhammer, battle axe, short sword. So this is going to take um, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 100 metal bars to complete this. But that's going to be fine. It's not going to be a big deal. Before they start making those, I think I'm going to do something really quick. I'm going to, and I really, really highly, highly, highly recommend this. So pay attention. Click on this, your stockpile. Click iron click armor. And if you did what I did, where you made like an all-inclusive stockpile, make sure you uncheck iron here. So you don't want iron, or I keep saying iron, I meant armor. Make sure you don't have armor in here. So get rid of the armor and put the armor in its own stockpile. One last thing. This is going to seem a little weird at first, and I'll explain it. Click this barrel. Click this button. It says max bins. Type 0. So you're basically essentially saying I don't want any barrels, bins, or wheelbarrows in this stockpile. The reason being, so like this, for example, has bins and barrels, right? It allows bins and barrels, and as you can see, there's barrels and there's bins. The reason you don't want those, the reason why you don't want these, is because when a dwarf runs to get his equipment, like a military dwarf, right? Let's say you got an emergency and you need your dwarves to get equipped immediately. If their stuff like armor or swords or whatever in a chest or a crate or a bin or whatever, the first dwarf that goes and grabs that crate is going to make that crate unavailable for all the rest. So that can cause issues. Let's say there's a crate that has like 10 other dwarves equipment in that crate, in that bin, I mean. Um, that means that those 10 other guys are going to have to wait their turn, and it's going to be like really slow. The dwarves will equip their stuff very slowly. So I wouldn't do that. What I would do, oh look, it's snowing, nice. What I would do is make its own armored stockpile with no bins. That means that I thought I'd turn that off. 0. Done. Cool. Done. The reason why you want this is because individual pieces will be put on the ground. This will take up an enormous amount of space, right? Because like each dwarf has like 10 pieces of equipment, so it's gonna be like 100 spaces more or less for an entire squad of 10 guys. It's gonna take a lot of space, but the dwarves will not interfere with each other, which is so much better. And I think every time, okay, no, we're good. I'm gonna do the same for weapons. So I'm gonna put a stockpile right here. And this is going to be a substantially smaller stockpile, but weapons, and then I'm going to again click on this barrel, type 0, press enter, done. Great. And then I'm going to ban weapons from here. There. Cool. And so that's it. So now for my dwarves to train, they just need armor. I'm going to wait a little bit before I actually have them train. But what I will do is just to get things set up, I'm actually going to set up a barracks. In a barracks, it says squads can be set to train, sleep, and store equipment here. So barracks are where your dwarves essentially train up. I'm going to make this the barracks, maybe temporarily. I'm not really sure. But we need to put a barracks. And you actually don't have to make the barracks this big. The barracks can be pretty small if you want it to be. Nice, that's cool. I'm just gonna make this nice right there. The barracks does not need to be this big. I'm gonna write barracks 1. And so if you want to assign a squad to it, you have to have a squad first, obviously. You click on it, the zone, you click on this little flag plus icon, and then you select your squad. You want to probably, I mean, you can do a variety of things, but I like to just do train. You can have them sleep here and store their items here, so like temporarily live here. But they're so close to their bedrooms, like a matter of like feet from their bedrooms, that I don't mind them just going home and sleeping and storing their stuff in their room. So that's fine with me. But yeah, there you go. I'm not gonna assign them. I'll show you how to assign them to work in a little bit, but I'd like to have some armor built up first. And it looks like Kumail is doing that currently, which is really nice. Look at those iron greaves or iron gauntlets. And the thing to note about iron gauntlets is you'd think, right, every dwarf has 2 hands, so you probably should make like double boots and double greaves or gauntlets, but each gauntlet and each high boot makes 2, so you don't have to like deal with that, which is nice. And here's the pickaxes. So pickaxes are weapons, and look, as you can see, there's no bins being used. They're just dumping the stuff individually on the ground. Fantastic. That's really what we want, because as you'll see, once I have enough equipment, I'm gonna have my dwarves train, and oh, Well, this dwarf just really can't wait to be a soldier, so they put on some armor. Currently, they only have iron mail shirt and iron breastplate, and they're completely naked in, in every other way. Oh my god, that's so funny. Um, I'm also kind of running low on food. Um, so maybe I'll make another farm plot. Like right here, I think. Oop, workshop, farming, farm plot. And it's funny, I actually can't build on this guy. He's like a sapling. Um, that's fine. I'm gonna build also a few other workshops. I'm gonna build a farmer's workshop. Build a farmer's workshop. I actually might make 2 farmer's workshops just to be safe. Oh, great. Hopefully nothing bad. Oh, these kobolds are really persistent. They really, really want the tasty goods that I have. I do have cool stuff. I got gems, and now I got armor. So, pretty epic. I'm gonna grow a few different things. So, I'm gonna make some quarry bushes, maybe some cave wheat, and maybe in winter I just will leave fallow, which basically means don't plant anything. Um, and I've noticed that. So here's a weird thing. Right, if you want seeds for plum helmets, you gotta make plum helmets into wine, and then you get all the seeds. As you can see, all the things that have left, like all the things that have been turned into wine, have left seeds. And so plum helmet is about to just do that. Look at that. So we made dwarven wine out of the plum helmet, and it left spawn, and that spawn is going to get planted. Another way you can do this is you can do. I'll do it through this just to show you. But Farmer's Workshop, you can press Add Task, and these are all the things that Farmer's Workshop can do. I like to do process plants and process plants to barrel. Um, there's all kinds of other things you can do, and then also in the order, the work orders menu, you can actually add a work order and filter by the workshop. And so I can go down to Farmer's Workshop and I can see the same list. The reason why I'm doing these process, and actually I'm going to do it right now. Let's do, where was it? It's right there. Okay. The reason why I'm doing this, process plants and process plants to barrel, is because this is how you can get like some um, like seeds, or this is like how you like some plants I think need to be processed before they're edible. Um, I'm not like totally 100% sure, but I know that as I've processed plants to barrels and bags and all that other stuff, I get more seeds. And so it's generally a good idea. Here, we'll see. So this person's about to process a plant. They're doing vetch, and the vetch gets turned into what? Seeds? Vetch is getting turned into seeds and leaves. So this is like a thing that can most likely be cooked, and there's your seeds. And so let's see if there's another. Once this order, the work order, gets taken, let me clear up this menu. Nice, 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 nice. Snowstorm, cool. Bunch of stuff. This menu is getting huge just because some of the orders can't be completed. That's just life. That's fine. Waiting for the order to go through. That would be really cool if my manager actually did something. Oh, look at these guys. So these dwarves are actually training. They're just doing it. They don't have any orders to train, but they are bored, and so they're training. And this guy is completely naked. He's literally zero anything on his clothes, anything. He's just completely nude. And that's what you get when you do exact or armor replaces clothing. So it's now that they don't have armor, they don't have clothing. So But that's fine. So they don't mind. I mean, some of them might be like horrified by it, but typically I don't think dwarves really give a shit. Um, some might, but that's fine. I'm gonna make uh, I'm gonna make Attis's room really cool. Right here. Great. Oh, elves. Oh, elves are really cool. Okay, so people like to shit on the elves in this game. Elves are cool. Where are they? Where are they? Right here. Here they are. So elves are cool. Elves are kind of bossy. They'll sometimes come to your fortress and demand that you stop chopping trees down, or at least set like a quota that you can't exceed, um, a limit. But elves do have a lot of really useful stuff. They have a ton of food, as you can see. There is an absolute shitload of food, and it's really cool food. It's like bayberries, dates, like peaches, like all kinds of cool stuff. And they also bring animals, sometimes exotic animals. Here's a camel. Not that exotic, but that's kind of exotic, I guess. I'm trying to see if they got anything else. Hmm, no. But sometimes if you trade a lot with the elves, they'll bring like elephants and stuff. It's really cool. Uh, Limonite, nice. Elven caravan, cool. Puppies, got it. Drinks, cool. Okay. Um, Another major thing to note with elves is elves. I think this is one of my gem things. Um, Elves will not appreciate you trading. Nice. This is a bunch of cut things. Um, they really, 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 really do not appreciate you trading wood to them. If you trade wood to them, they will freak out and they will leave. Um, don't do it. They're huge pussies for that, but that's just life. You cannot trade wood to them. So if I, for example, since I moved, let's say broker requested at, okay, so here, my broker Kumo has arrived, and here's the thing. So all these gems are in the a sand pear wood bin. If I press this button, I would be kind of fucked. I'd be trading a wooden bin to them, and they'd be so upset. So what I'm gonna have to do is trade individual items. And so I'm gonna go through their list and just like glance at things that I want. There's some cool instruments. Why not? I'm not gonna buy expensive ones. The camel. I guess I could eat the camel. It's kind of expensive for now. I'm a little poor. Um, I'm gonna buy their. I'm not gonna buy their seeds. I'm gonna buy their leaves and fruit. Leaves and fruit. Look at this. Like all these papayas, plums, all kinds of cool stuff. These are great. Great for like alcohol. Great for adding variety to your dwarf. Plus, every dwarf has like an individual preference, and so some of these preferences might like a dwarf might like pears, and we may not have pears, but now that we do, the dwarf is gonna be extra happy now that we have it. So I'm just buying the food basically. They don't have any cool animals, so I'm not gonna buy anything else. And now I'm going to trade with them. And what I'm looking down here. You kind of want green. You don't have to have green. Look at that. There's green. Um, you don't have to have green. I think you can typically do a trade with yellow. Yellow means that they're like accepting, and green means they're like static. If you give traders really good deals, they come back with like better stuff. So we're gonna just press trade, and he says, "Oh, well, wonderful, thank you for your business." And seems that this person was really, really pleased, and that means because I gave him a green deal. So I'm gonna say no trader needed at depot, so that to release my metalsmith, so they can go back to metalsmithing. And so now all the dwarves are sprinting down here. Oh, it's actually just normal. Um, and normal is like grabbing so much stuff and throwing it. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Um, but yeah, as you can see, the processing of these. Oh my god, I zoomed way too down. Um, the processing of these plants is getting us seeds, and inadvertently, it's also giving us like plum helmet seeds. As you can see, there's like a bunch more, which is great. And someone dumped all their clothes on the ground. It's probably the fighter dwarves. I'm gonna look down at the old armor area. So this guy's like pretty much fully armored, which actually is kind of cool. Um, and now she's not. So funny. We got tons of iron. Looks like they're making tons of stuff. So I think this is a good time to start training. They're not perfectly equipped, but they're good enough. So what I'm gonna do, and there's like you can get really complicated with schedules, and I do recommend eventually making more complicated schedules. What you can do is you can select that monthly thing, and you can actually tell them, you can make a new order, and you can tell them to train on certain months. And these are months like granite, slate, feldsite. These are like spring. There's summer, fall, and winter. Um, and you can tell them, maybe two months on, a month off, 2 months on, a month off. You typically want to give dwarves sort of breaks. That being said, though, if you select good dwarves that like to be in the military, like to train, like to fight, like to brawl, they will pretty much train indefinitely, and not have any problems. Um, I wouldn't even worry about that if you didn't vet your soldiers and you still have like a bunch of random people. Maybe some of them don't want to be there. You don't have to worry too much about it. Um, Basically, what I'm saying is early on, just click constant train, and constant train is exactly as it sounds. They do nothing, but they train, Okay, so the quickness of metals is now set to constant train, off duty, constant train, and you can see it says no special orders. It just means special orders are like specific orders, like go attack a guy, and then routine is constant train. So now, uh, 7 of my dwarves are gonna go sprint down to here and start equipping. And as you can see, they're equipping really fast because they don't have to deal with bins. So they're all just going to sprint down there and like boop, 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 build, grab as much as they can. Boom. Fantastic. And so now they're going to go up to their squad, and one of them is actually still naked. She's covered in tears. Um, she was crying. Um, and so now they're training. They're going to have better armor eventually. She won't be naked, hopefully one day. But there they are. And as you can see, watching dodging demonstration, individual combat drill, leading dodging demonstration, watching dodging demonstration. They in these training situations, they're going to get stronger. They're going to get better with using armor and their shields and their weapons eventually when I get those things to them. They're gonna get very strong. If you equipped armor on dwarves that aren't very trained, they'll be very slow and kind of useless. But eventually, when they get stronger, they're going to be faster and more dangerous. And a cool thing to note is that you can actually go to health description and you can read their description. And as they get stronger, it's going to say like this person is like impressively strong, like their muscles or whatever. It's really cool. Like the dwarves undergo like physical transformations when when they're uh, when they're doing this, and they'll actually lose. So she says she is weak, very quick to tire, and really susceptible to disease. The disease probably won't change, but she'll lose this negative trait when she trains long enough, and she will also very quick to tire. She'll lose this. So it's good. Your dwarves, like military training, military dwarves is fantastic. They get so incredibly strong, um, and then they lose negative traits and they become just like legendary soldiers. Um, oh, oh yeah, I gotta show you something. Okay, so I chopped a bunch of trees around this area, and I had this area dug out. This is a weird mechanic, but I had this place dug out, and then I chopped some trees above this dugout area. And what can happen is you can when there's empty space below a tree and you chop that tree down, you actually get holes in your ceiling. So you have to patch them up, and it's really hard to see, as you can see. Like I guess when you scroll all the way up, you can kind of see where they are. Another way you can do it, and this is going to horrify some of you, but you can go to settings, ASCII glyphs, press yes, and um, and all you got to do is just zoom up one, and you can see the holes in the floor because these are open space basically. Um, we're gonna just not use that, but I'm just gonna scan right here. So wall. Okay, so it's right here. Rock salt. Wait, I don't want walls. I don't want walls. I want floors. Right there, right there, right there, and I think that's it, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, that looks right. We just don't want, we want to patch those holes up. We don't want goblins just slipping into this. I'm gonna make some hatch covers. I'm gonna make them out of iron because it's kind of, no, I'm not. I'm gonna make them out of stone. Rock hatch cover, and hatch covers are just like trapdoors. I'm gonna make 4 of them because I have 4 stairs, and I'll make them out of dolomite. And I'm just gonna put them right here. The thing about hatch doors, they're like doors, and you can click on a door and you can make it impassable, which makes it impossible for a creature to get through unless they're like a big mean monster and they can punch the door down. I'm gonna make also a few more offices. That looks good. Because I have a few nobles right now. And I need to make Attis's house, actually. I just noticed. So Attis has this really cool house, and I'm gonna dump actually some of the stone right here. You may not really understand what I'm doing. I'm basically making a dumping zone and then telling, like right outside the room, and I'm just telling the dwarves to dump all of this stone in that little spot right there. Just clean up her room. And then I'm gonna make her bedroom right here. Yeah, bedroom right there. And she said she needed a cabinet, so I'll put a cabinet up. Okay, we don't have a cabinet. Why we haven't built a cabinet yet? I think my dwarves are very busy. I will put a coffer there, or chest, essentially. And then if you want your armor stands and your weapon racks, you actually have to go to military. Armor stand. Um, and I'll put it like over in this corner, maybe. Weapon rack. There. And then she just needs a cabinet. And then I like to give her a dining room, so I'm going to do that. Put it in the middle. Just use closest materials since I only have one. Boom, look at that. So now she has like a dining room and a bedroom. And now she needs an office. I remember she needed an office, so I built her kind of an office right here. Actually, I'll make it right here. So I'm going to put there and table right here. And I'm going to build some rock doors. And then I'm going to assign the office again, like I did this one, and name it. What is Attis? Is she a? Oh, she's a sheriff. Okay, sheriff's office. Sheriff office. And I'm going to assign her to the sheriff's office. So now she has a cool little room. And I'm actually going to smooth some of this out so that the dwarves, these nobles, have a little bit of a cooler room. That works. Perfect. Looks great. Looks fantastic. Oh my God, someone's eating in her off. Oh, okay, yeah. So the doors actually don't have. I just realized the doors don't have a place to eat. So I should probably build that eventually. Right now they're just eating in Attis's dining hall. So multi, I'm gonna make her a dining hall room, and I'm actually gonna name it Sheriff Dining Hall. And then I'm gonna assign obviously Attis to the Sheriff's Dining Hall. I'm gonna make another bedroom, multi, done. I'm gonna make this the Sheriff bedroom and assign Attis. Then I'm actually gonna, before I forget this, I'm gonna go to Attis and I'm going to unassign her other rooms. So she has, if I go to rooms, it says she has a modest, fine quarters, and modest quarters. And this is the sheriff bedroom, and then this is just a random bedroom. Yeah, right there. So she's going to have her other room taken away. So now she only has one room. And then I'm hoping that the cabinet is done. Cabinet is not done. So as you can see, I've successfully given her everything she needs with the exception of the cabinet. And once I get the cabinet, she'll be happy as can be, and she'll be able to do some sheriffing. Um, I don't really think the sheriff is super essential. It's actually not essential at all. This early in the game, it's kind of funny to have one, but that's fine. My dwarves are super stretched thin. So we're gonna have to wait for a long time. You can see they're like doing all kinds of stuff, um, tons of stuff, and I have like a major fraction of my entire dwarven population just dedicated to training. Another thing to note is that if you can see, the dwarves are training, but this lady, she's covered in tears, as you can see. Her entire body is just filled with tears. I think dwarven tears, spatter of her own tears all over herself. She's crying for some reason. Um, I don't know why she's crying, but she's crying. She's very upset. And but as you can see, she has nothing on besides tears. Uh, and and there's armor here. Why is that? That's because you have to go here, you have to press Q, open up your thing, click this, check this button, go to equipped, and then just press this update equipment. And as you can see, some of these doors only have like a few things, not everything. So update equipment, they'll all run down, they'll sprint through here, and they'll go, and they're gonna go assign themselves more armor. And you want everything to be green, everything. We haven't made flasks or backpacks yet. We'll do that eventually. So now they're all getting armor on. Look at them. Like they're pretty much fully equipped. I think they look like they have little feet. Their feeties exposed. So I don't think. Yeah, they don't have any feets. Looks like they're just getting built. But at least the dwarves are a little bit more um, protected. They don't have weapons yet. They don't have shields, but that is coming down the pipe line right here. Look at that. Iron Warhammer, Battle Axe, Short Sword, Higher Boots, Shields. These are all the things that the guys are lacking. That's going to change very soon. The weapons will be put up here. The armor will be put there. Fan freaking tastic. The fort is coming along. Yep, there they are. The weapons are being produced, and the armor is is here for the most part. They're still missing some things, but I'm gonna re-equip everyone again. So schedule, or not schedule, equipped, update equipment, and they'll go run down and get some more equipment. And looks like they're looking good. Nice. Looks good. Now they're actually training their skills. And this guy's training pretty much everything. I think he's fully equipped. He's the militia commander. He's got breastplate. He's actually got a like a masterful iron breastplate, which is one of the best qualities you can get. I think artifact is the only quality that's better. This guy's got full armor. So they're all training, and as you can see, dabbling hammer dwarf and dabbling axe dwarf or novice axe dwarf. And this guy's a fighter. He doesn't have any weapon skill yet, but that's because he doesn't have any weapons. This guy's got a sword, competent sword dwarf, and they'll get rusty a little bit. I think when they're legendary, they'll never get rusty, but this guy's a little rusty, but that goes away pretty fast once you train them. I have 1,000 goddamn dogs and a ton of cats. Um, they're all right for now, but we may have to do some. We might have to take them to a few of them to the farm if you understand what I'm saying. We don't want too many of those guys. Oh, cabinet right there. There's a dolomite cabinet. So we can actually finish Attis's room. Look at that. And I think before I end this episode, a thing that would be very nice would be to make a maybe, perhaps, potentially a tavern. I think a tavern would be nice. Taverns are great. I love taverns in this game. It brings all kinds of visitors. You get your map updated every time. Like I think someone talks to your dwarves. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And so this is looking so stupid. Um, and then it's just fun. It's fun. Tavern fights. You get tavern fights, which actually could be like really bad. Your dwarves could die in droves. But that's life. Um, what I'm going to do is make. I'm gonna make a few things. So I'm gonna make the tavern here, and maybe I'll make it just a little bit bigger. There's a tavern, and while I'm doing this, I'm gonna actually make a ton of tables. So rock table, rock throne, and we're gonna make it out of dolomite. We're gonna make it out of dolomite. Fantastic, outstanding, and actually I'm gonna make a bunch of them. I'm gonna make like 30 maybe, 30, 30 dolomite tables and thrones, and they're gonna be placed in this tavern. All right, I'm back. A lot of things just happened. We actually had a child born during that little building thing. Um, it looked like Rith has given birth to a boy, and then Bomrak, which was a soldier, gave birth to a girl, and she actually gave birth to a girl when she was doing an individual combat drill. So that's pretty cool. This child is born into war. Avoids excitement. Well, tough because you're gonna see plenty of that probably. But she's training currently with the child in her arms, which is pretty cool. That's funny as hell. Um, we're making this we're making this room, and then also another thing that has happened is where are they? Where did they go? Other right here, right there. Perfect. Um, the humans have arrived. Human caravan. So we just had dwarves in the beginning of fall, followed by elves, and now humans. Humans are cool. They have a lot of they have like a high variety of food as well. They bring a lot of like fish and stuff. Um, well, actually, they bring a lot of different things. I think elves and dwarves are the cooler of them of the trading partners, but don't discount humans either. They sell all kinds of really important stuff. Like, look at all this. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw, yeah, seahorse. I mean, who wouldn't want a bunch of seahorse? So I'll move goods, gems. Let's do this gem and kind of find where my other gem barrel was or bin. There it is. Gems. Nice. I'm just gonna make a really quick office for my broker because I don't think they have one. I don't know if they need one, but they're getting one. Broker. Oh, here's a fun thing. Kimmel, who is my broker and metalsmith, is married to Mistum, so they both get this room. Mistum probably not going to use it all that much, but that's funny. And so now they have a little office. I'm gonna go move goods. I think I just did actually. Whoa! Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, so what's just happening is the caravan guards are actually chasing off a grizzly bear. That's kind of cool that we get grizzly bears in this area. Maybe I'll go and grab them and train them. But I don't know how this guy's gonna fare against a grizzly. He's beating the shit out of it. Oh my god, he's beating the hell out of it. Boom! Dead. That's cool. Let's look at that combat log. I'm curious. The human lasher is fighting the grizzly bear. Here, one sec. Let me get out of this. Lasher is fighting the grizzly bear. He's just whipping it, missing it, or the grizzly bear is missing the lasher. The human's lashing it, hitting it, beating it. The bear looks sick. Um, the human lasher latches on firmly. The human lasher bites the grizzly bear in the left front leg, tearing the fat and bruising the muscle. So the human lasher latches on firmly. The grizzly bear breaks the grip of the. That is so funny. So the human lasher was biting. You would think the bear would be biting it, but it looks like human lasher lashes it in the lashes the grizzly bear in the head with its silver whip, bruising the muscle, jamming the skull through the brain, and tearing the brains. The bear died. Um, that is really cool. And then if you go to his military, you can see that he apparently did not get credit for killing that, but dwarves will get credit for killing things. But yeah, that's cool. Oh, I just realized. Oh my god. Yeah, that's fine. Before I trade, I just realized I haven't used my um, nest boxes. I was like wondering why I didn't have a bunch more ducks. But that's because they don't have an area to lay eggs. That's so funny. The whole reason I didn't have pickaxes was because I bought a native gold nest box. So I should probably use these. So the dwarves hopefully will go put these away sooner than later, or put them away. Okay, so the child put them down. So the moment, here's the thing. The moment a duck runs on top of this nest box, click on the tile and then go down to the nest box down here. So click on the nest box and you can see that it has immediately laid 10 eggs. Press the lock button. This forbids the eggs from being picked up. Dwarves will immediately run and pick up the nest boxes. Okay, this guy also 9 eggs. Lock. And then I'm actually not gonna. I'm gonna let these eggs get picked up. If you don't lock them, they will get grabbed. As you can see, there's a child grabs the eggs. Child has 9 eggs in their hand. You can't have more chicks or ducklings if you if a dwarf grabs the eggs. You need to forbid them, and then so that they stay in the nest box, so that a drake can go and fertilize them, or at least fertilize the duck that is fertilizing that lays fertilized eggs. I don't know. It doesn't matter. My parents haven't taught me about the birds and the bees, so I don't really know the order of that, the order of operations when it comes to that. But um, basically, forbid the eggs, and the eggs will eventually hatch. Uh, but yeah, we're working on the tavern. We're making more ore. We're making more coal. We finally have pickaxes for our um, miners. We have a new miners guild. We got more offices. We got a whole military, and they're actually equipped. I think they're all fully equipped. If I can, yep, they're all fully equipped with the exception of backpacks and flasks. We'll do that eventually. But that's fantastic. We actually have guys that can sort of defend. They're dabbling, but eventually they'll get much better. We got new children. We got more dwarves. We're trading. I think next episode we'll trade with them. I'll send the broker right now. Someone will trade with them later. Life is good. We are now in midsummer of year 251. So we've been alive for about a year and a half, which is great. Everything is looking fantastic. Next episode, I think we're going to be focusing on more noble stuff, finishing the tavern, and start building an above ground fort. And maybe go explore a little bit of the caverns once the dwarves get a little bit more training. So we can go down and check out the caverns and maybe get into a little bit of a scrap with some of the monsters down there. But I think everything is looking fantastic, and I'll see you guys in episode 3.